assessment, what is the frequency, and you can find out what is the result you are getting, how you will go about that. So all the important ingredients that of the integrity management we have covered yesterday. Today we will have that you say the post assessment. You can say that based on your result, that metal loss and how you will decide that what is your strength of your pipeline, and what is the life of your pipeline, what actions you are required to do. And so this is the post-assessment actions. So now we are in the implementation part, you can say. This is also very important, that how we will proceed. So before we go for the formula which gives you the critical pressure, and based on that you calculate the remaining strength of pipeline and your life assessment. So these are the actually some factors which will come into the your formula. So you should know that, and you can refer this chart. So this is the YM, that is a longitudinal corrosion prediction, that is a factor. That is safety class, low, medium, high. I have earlier told you what is the safety class, low, medium, high. Depending upon the population density, you decide, and type of product you have, oil or gas pipeline, and this. Previously I have told you that what is the safety class you can have. So basically this low is for the water line. So these are some of the factors. So it is your YM. You just remember that, or you can refer this chart. So 0.90, 1. YD is a corrosion depth, and sigma D, this is a factile value. Of course, this is 1.0. But this and this both these varies. So this is low for water. Medium is that the safety class, that your platform is there, or rural classes are there where the population density is less. So here you have this 0.85 and 1.28, these two factors, and others is high, that is your oil and gas pipeline, and your population density is more, class normally 3 and 4, like your terminal, your urban areas. So if it's high, so you have to select these factors. Very important. This may change your results. So you have to decide. That we will see the example when we come to know how you will decide that what factors you will use depending upon the you are in the medium class or the high class. Let's come now to the formula. What is that? This is as per DNV RPF 101. This is also applicable. This is simple, and it's acceptable norms, international standard norms. So it is remaining strength evolution and residual life assessment. This is the formula. This just you can refer it when you say, I will explain you what is that. So this is the PR is your critical pressure. What is the critical pressure? Critical pressure is that means at that is the critical pressure. You cannot go beyond that critical pressure. Okay, and that depends upon the metal loss, length of the metal loss, and the depth of the metal loss. So you first find out the critical pressure. What is the critical pressure? That is YM. That is the factor you have earlier I have shown you. T is your normal thickness. Fu will decide, this is the temperature correction factor. YD you have to take from the safety class. D is the depth of metal loss. T is your original thickness. And D is the diameter, outside diameter. YD is a factor, D by T2, and Q you have to find out. So D by T star, this is D by T measured plus standard deduction D by T. What is that? D is depth of metal loss, T is vial thickness, D is outside diameter, and standard D by T is standard deviation of D by T ratio. There is some deviation which is acceptable, and normally we take 80% confidence level and sizing accuracy of plus minus 0.10. So it comes to 0.08. So we will consider standard deduction d by t as 0.08. This is the factorial value that you know is 1. Ym partial safety factor, Yd is partial safety factor, corrosion depth, already I have told you. Now this is also there. Fu is the tensile strength acting factor based on temperature. What is it Fu? This is the symmetrical minimum tensile strength of the pipe based on its XL60 or XL70 minus Fu temperature into alpha U. What is that? SMTS is symmetrical mean tensile strength Newton per mm square. Fu is the temperature factor and alpha U is material strength factor, which is 0.96. This is fixed 0.96. And Fu temperature, this is 0 4 to 50 degree. This depends upon the temperature. If it is up to 50 degree centigrade, it is 0. So only SMTS into alpha U, you have to do 0.96. If it is 60 degree centigrade, then it is 5. If it is 75 degree centigrade, then it is 15. So here you have to make a correction and this Fu will come here. Fu will come here. Okay. And Q is 1 root over 1 plus 0.31 L by root over D into T square. Here only L is only length of defect. So here see length comes here, and depth also comes here. This is depth. So depth and length, based on these two, you decide the critical pressure. For pipe to be safe, PR, critical pressure should be more than 1.1 into maximum allowable operating pressure. This is the norms. So whatever is your maximum allowable operating pressure, 1.1 into that, the critical pressure should be more than that. And estimated repair factor, this is normally expressed as 1.1 MAOP by PR, and it should be less than 1. That is, critical pressure should be more than 1.1 into maximum allowable operating pressure. So it should be 0.6, 0.7. So, and if it is 1 and more, it means that your critical pressure is less than the maximum allowable operating pressure into 1.1. That is the critical zone. So this estimated repair factor 0.8. Suppose we say estimated repair 0.8. It means that PR is more than that. 80% is that. It is at 80% of that. So like that, you have to decide estimated repair factor. Based on the ERF, you have to decide what course of action you will take for the repair, replacement, or the monitoring or schedule maintenance. And critical depth. Now you have to calculate. You can calculate critical depth D also. What is the critical depth? Critical depth is that metal loss at which critical pressure will be lesser than your 1.8 into maximum allowable, or your maximum allowable operating pressure into 1.1 will be lesser than your critical pressure. So you have to this D you have to calculate. How? With the same equation. Here you put critical pressure. PR is the critical pressure. That is the maximum 1.1 into MAOP. Here you can put MAOP, and then you can calculate here D. That will show you the critical depth where you reach the critical pressure, and your maximum allowable operating pressure. This should be more than the critical pressure, should be less than the critical pressure actually. Critical pressure should be more. So, and corrosion rate is, what will the corrosion rate? That will be, say, original thickness is T, T1 is the remaining thickness or the metal loss, depth of metal loss divided by the number of years. So this is the corrosion rate, and then you can decide remaining life in years by this D, which is the critical depth. You calculate from this critical depth divided by the corrosion rate. That will give you the remaining life in years. This is the, see, this page shows you all you have to do by this formula, and you can find out the critical pressure, estimated repair factor, and your life in years, and the remaining strength of the pipeline. So this you will understand when we take up the actual this case study or the formula. You just a minute. So here, this page is important. You have any doubt on that? This you understood this formula?
Sir, Mr. Salunki wants to know that this calculation is as per the what standard? Like ASME
That
B
I told you. That is
G.
as per the DNV RP F101. That is for the corroded pipelines. DNV standard. RP F101. Okay. That is there in that. I have written on the top only.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
The corrosion rate, you have mentioned T minus T1 by N. N means remaining thickness in N years.
No. N is the number of years. N is the number of years. You find corrosion rate. So depth
Number
of
of years
metal
from
loss
the
divided by
project, the number of years already from the design or number of
from the
remaining
design.
years?
From the design. Original thickness minus remaining thickness. That is the metal loss. Suppose 4 mm is the metal loss in 10 years. So it will be 4 by 10, that is 0.4 mm per year. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So now we'll move to actual this formula. We will see some example. Then it will be clear to you. So we will take example later on. Now let us see that proposed action on the basis of critical pressure. Now how we decide and what we will do? This is all as per a standard. You see, this is as per we have given you standard ASME B 31.8 S. That is there ASME. That as per that one is all as per a standard. So this is severe. What is severe? Here you have to do immediate action. Defect at failure point. Such failure pressure is less than 1.1 times MAOP. So you are operating at a pressure which is more than the or equal to critical pressure. If it is like that, then you are in the severe zone. What you have to do? Immediately pressure reduction. That should be lesser than your critical pressure. Okay. So pressure reduction is a temporary because you cannot live with the pressure reduction. So you have to do repair and replacement. Either you replace that pipe section where the thickness is very less, or you repair it by putting the sleeve. What type of sleeve, that we'll see later on. Then you have the moderate, that is schedule. What is that? Defect is significant but not at failure point, like 70% or 80% in that zone. So the failure pressure is more than that. So here immediate action is not required, but repair or replacement is scheduled based on finding along with preventive measures. So as I told you that if you have to calculate the residual life, if the residual life say it is 4 years, then within 2 years, half of that, you have to take action on the pipe. Either you put the sleeves, you decrease the corrosion rate, or you replace the pipe. So it is a scheduled action, not immediate. Then you have low. Just monitoring you have to do. Defect is neither at failure point nor significant. That is 40%, 50% like that. And the residual life is more than 10 years, suppose. Next. So you don't need to do anything right now. You can just monitor it. What is the corrosion rate? So what you will take the action? So 3.8 is a weather related. Failure due to lightning, flood or earthquake. Immediate response. You have to replace it. If it is a failure, then you have to replace it. Washout exposure. Then you have to schedule protection against washout and exposure. No significant finding. Monitoring. Patrolling, monitoring. See, these charts I have prepared. This is a ready-made reckoner. Nowhere will find out. This training is meant for giving you a ready-made reckoner. You see, this type of you will not find. This is my research and my going through all the standards and booklet that I have prepared that for a glance. That is the benefit of that you are undergoing training and your expertise. So manufacturing defect, seam weld failure, immediate repair by type B precise sleeve, composite sleeve or replacement. Seam weld defect, schedule. If it is defect, not is failure. Pressure reduction or planned repair. No defect, monitoring. Then construction, seam weld failure, immediate, same. Seam weld defect, displacement or unstable, schedule. Then you have to pressure reduction, schedule or planned repair as above. Corrective action for stability and displacement. External corrosion, metal loss severe such that failure pressure is less than immediate. Now reduction of operating pressure and repair replacement within 5 days. This pressure reduction you do, but within 5 days you have to take a permanent step. How? Repair by, in a corrosion, external corrosion, you can repair by type B precise sleeve, type A reinforcing sleeve or the composite sleeve. All these three are allowed. Repair clamps are not allowed because that is totally temporary measures. Then metal loss is significant but not a failure point. Schedule. You have to plan. Like I told you, with 5-year life, then 2.5 years or 2 years you have to repair. You have to plan. Repair or replacement before the failure pressure reaches in critical zone. So you have to take action before that. And metal loss is not significant, monitoring. Internal corrosion, same. But here you have to use only B-type precise sleeve. In internal corrosion, you have to use only B-type precise sleeve. A-type or composite sleeve is not allowed. Okay. Then significant, same, and metal loss not, so monitoring. These are, we are going for the mitigation, intervention and repair. What we have to do and how we have to do. This is some part of, say, the circumferential welded split sleeve. This is a B type of sleeve. This is for the both external as well as internal corrosion. Normally we are using this. Split sleeve is there. You are welding it, same side, and this is the live demonstration of the welded sleeve, what you are doing. So you have to prepare for that. If you have the immediate, then you have to do like that. You should have that sleeve available. You should have your contract available. All these spare parts, other things, immediately you take shutdown. You have to, you can do online, you have to reduce the pressure and then you can do that. This is a composite sleeve for external corrosion. This you can use for only external corrosion, composite sleeve, but you cannot use for internal corrosion. For that you have to use a pressurized sleeve. This is a split sleeve or repair clamp, temporary arrangement. If there is any leak, you can immediately do. You reduce the pressure and put this repair clamp. Within 5 days, you put the permanent measures. So this is all about mitigation, intervention, and repair. And how you will find out what is the your plan, schedule, or monitoring. Next, we will go for the actual see the calculations, case studies, where you can find the examples and you can do that. So we are going for the case study, live example on that.
Sir, one question, sir.
Question, yes, please, just a minute.
So, what is type A sleeve? Type B is you have shown, and what is type A sleeve?
Actually, there is a difference in that sleeve. That is, they have defined that because in internal corrosion, the actual specification of that sleeve is not with me. I can come back to you after in you. I will send you the details. But there is a difference because both cannot be used for the same purpose. So why they have told the A type sleeve and B type sleeve, the ready-made that specification of those sleeves, that is not with me as of now. But that is a good question, and I will come back to you. You please tell me that you send your email ID and your question in chat, and I will come back to you. Okay?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. I'm noting down that. Yes, please. So let's move to the case studies.
Sir, Mr. Salim wants to know, like, what is the difference between seam weld failure and seam weld defect?
I say seam weld failure is, the failure is failure. See, actually that weld like that in a joint well, like say in the GAIL that people is there, Parmar, Jagotindor, Pithampur pipeline.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning. So you know what is the seam weld failure? You have that seam weld failure. That the
Yes.
yeah. So the hydro test that weld failed. So the seam weld failed.
Yes.
The leak is there. That is the failure. Okay.
That is
And
correct.
yeah, and the defect is that weld defect, but there will be some weld defect in that porosity, outer roundness. There are so many
Yes.
say anomalies.
Sir, can I answer? Can I answer? Can I answer? Yeah, you are going correct, sir. But as you mentioned that in the weld defect, in the seam, there are a lot of defects like porosity, lack of penetration, lack of fusion, and slag is there. So a lot of defects and some defects which we can accept as per the code, required code. Suppose we are using for the pipeline API 1104. So some defects are accepted. That is called imperfection. Imperfection. And if we are, imperfection. If some defects are accepted, it is called an imperfection. And if defect is not acceptable, then we are going for the repair.
Yeah, if seam weld, so it is understandable what is the failure and what is the defect. As I told you that even metal loss also have defect, but if it is in acceptable zone, like you are doing weld defect, and that is the construction and that fabrication related once in a time. Okay. And if there is any, you find out in that when you do the internal that eyelid, then you find that weld defect also. Okay. And if the weld defect doesn't have that metal loss because of the welding that deformity or something like that, then it is acceptable zone. It is not your main thing is your critical pressure should be more than your 1.1 into MAOP. That is important. Ultimately, that goes to that only. Okay, so then you are safe. Okay, so that defect is there, which is acceptable. Okay, failure is not acceptable. Defect you can plan, but you have to remove that defect. If it is acceptable, it's okay. If it is not acceptable, then you have to take some action. Okay.
Correct, sir.
Yeah. So okay, we will now take up your actual examples. How we calculate. Okay. So this is a calculation this you have to find out. So this is the parameter of gas pipeline. You see, this is the outside diameter. Grade is API 5LX65. This is actually this one I have done some pipeline that I mentioned also. Based on that, this is actual the pipeline. Case study actually this is not a hypothetical. Grade is much. I have done this calculation. Valve thickness is 19.8. This is the ordinal valve thickness, and MAOP is 135 bar. Design temperature is 75 centigrade, and SMPS 530.9 Newton per mm square. Year of commissioning is 2000. If somebody is speaking.
Yes, Mr. Bharat wants to ask that can this method or DNV standard used globally or for a certain region?
Yeah. It is globally acceptable. DNV acceptable. Anyway, you can do either DNV or you can do that ASME will be 31.8G, These are all acceptable. ISO has also the
So-
standard.
Yeah, okay. So, sir, I wanted to ask whether this is only applicable for pipelines or it can also be used for the piping in the refineries and other plants.
This is because that is different. This is for the pipelines, cross-country pipelines.
Sir, yeah, it's only for the pipelines.
Yeah, it's cross-country pipelines. Yeah, not for the station pipelines.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. This is for the buried pipelines. Okay. Yeah.
If you are going to the assessment, further assessment like this, so just you can use API 579 or other codes.
Yeah. Whatever is that, the acceptable national and international standards. This will as per that. API 579 is also there. They have also got their standards. So it will be all more or less say there are different standards. ASME has a standard, NACE has a standard. Then your API 579 you told that is there. DNV is there. Okay, so these are all the international norms. That it depends upon what do you want. Stringent or the stringent one. So it can be done anyway. I have done through DNV because this is acceptable. If you want some other standard to be followed, that can be followed also. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Now length is 60 kilometer. Pipeline product is natural gas, and pipe thickness in 2005 they have done first inline inspection, and 2005 it was this much. And pipe thickness in 2015 is 14.32 mm. Length of defect is 200 mm, and safety class is medium. This I have given you the medium class. Now this is all the parameters you have got. Now you have to calculate the remaining strength and remaining life. I will do that. Questions here is calculate critical pressure in 2015 critical pressure and draw an inference whether pipeline strength was safe in 2015. Then calculate remaining life and draw an inference whether pipeline is safe in 2019. Also calculate ERF. These are the three your tasks. See now how I will move that. Corrosion growth rate as per API 570. This is the corrosion growth rate API 570 says. This is this formula. 19.10 is the original thickness and 14.32 is your 2015. We are taking 2015. Okay. So this is 14.32, 15 years. So 4.78 by 15, that is 0.31 mm per year. If you convert it into mils per year, it is 12.2 mils per year. That is the corrosion rate is high, because as per that, if it is it should be maximum up to 5 mils per year, but it is 12.2 mils per year, so it is in a higher zone. Now you have to calculate the critical pressure. So this is the formula I have told you. Now you calculate d by t. This is the d by t is equal to d by t measured plus this is the formula of d by t. D is the depth is 4.78 mm. T is 19.10 mm and standard deviation d by t is 0.08. This normally we are taking deviation 80% as I told you. This sigma d is 1. So d by t calculate, this comes to 0.33. Now Q is equal to 1 plus d by t1 L by root over d by t square. T is outside dia is 12.8 mm and length of the defect is 200 mm. So this Q you calculate, this formula comes to 1.34. And the medium class, so Ym is 0.85 and Yd is 1.28 for the medium class. Fu is the temperature correction. So SMTS minus Fu temperature into alpha U. SMTS is 530.9 and since it is 75 degrees centigrade, so Fu is 15.96. So this symmetrical minimum tensile strength comes to 495.3 Newton per mm square. You put all these parameters here, you get PR, and that comes to 17.8 Newton per mm square or 174.2 kg per centimeter square. Now, you have 1.10 into 135 maximal observation, that is 148.5 kg per centimeter square. So your critical pressure is more than 148.8 kg per centimeter square. Hence, pipe is safe at this pressure. So whatever you are operating at this pressure, that is your safe, because this is, and what is the estimated repair factor? That is your 1.10 into MAOP, 148.5 divided by 174.2, that is 0.85. So your 85% is that you are operating 1.10 at the 85% of this. So this will come in a say moderate zone, because 0.85 is this, 85% is also. And when you calculate the residual life, then we come to know what is the life, and then you have to decide. But this is definitely, because only 15% is left. If you increase, if the corrosion rate is more, then immediately this will go up, this will come down, and it will be 1. Okay, so I think you have understood this. It is simple formula. Now you have to calculate residual life assessment. Now, predicting corrosion growth rate to reach critical pressure 1.1 times, or ERF should be equal to 1. So when the critical pressure becomes equal to 1.1 times MOP, that is the critical zone. So ERF is equal to 1. So the critical pressure limit is 1.1 into 135, that is 148 kg per centimeter square. The length of corrosion loss is 200 mm. So you calculate, you put PR as in Newton per mm square, 14.55, this you convert, and you have to calculate this critical depth to know the life in years. So you put all the parameters here as we have put earlier, only d by t is there. So from this you can calculate the d. What is the depth of metal, critical depth? Okay, so d comes to 7.60 mm is the depth that comes from this formula. So this is the critical depth. So the remaining thickness is what? 19.10 original thickness minus 7.60, that is the 11.5 mm. This is the critical thickness. Okay, 11.5 mm is the minimum critical thickness that it can reach when your ERF will be equal to 1. That is, critical pressure will be equal to 1.1 into maximum allowable operating pressure. This way you can, this is the critical depth, maximum 7.60 mm depth is allowed, and the remaining thickness will be 11.5 mm. Now you have to find out what will be the life in years at the rate of 0.31 mm per year that you have calculated. So simply you have to take the critical depth 7.60 mm at 0.31 corrosion rate. In how many years it will reach this critical depth? This is 7.60 mm from the beginning, you see, from the beginning. So 7.60 mm divided by a corrosion rate 0.31, that is 24.5 years from 2000. That is up to 2024, provided that corrosion rate is mm per year same. If the corrosion rate increases, then it will be less. But we assume that the corrosion rate is same. So 24 years means up to 2024. So if it is 19, then 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 5 years more life is there. So you have to take preventive action as well as the corrective actions in 2.5 years, half of the 5 years. Before you come next 5 years, you do the intelligent pigging for that. Before that, you have to take this action to increase the thickness to the original thickness or more than your critical depth. So this is how you calculate the residual life assessment and your critical pressure. If you have any question in this, if you have understood, then you tell me. Otherwise, next case study I will ask you to do. Okay.
Sir.
Sir.
Hello. Sir.
Yeah.
I think you have taken the length total 200 mm,
Yeah.
and the depth is 7.6 mm depth. So it's
No,
where it comes.
7.60 mm is the critical depth. Okay. While finding the critical pressure in that formula, you have to put length of the metal loss. You have taken 200 mm, which you have found in 2015. So we have taken that length, whatever you have observed in the last inline inspection. What is your question?
No. The 200 mm is from the question, or you just calculated as per the DNV RP 101?
No. Which one? The
The
length
length of the defect.
defect we have calculated from
Metal
the
loss.
formula. That is the critical depth. But for calculating the critical depth, the length of the loss that comes in the Q section, L is the length of the metal loss. That is as per the last Indian PDB. 2015, it was found that the length of the metal loss was 200 mm. So we have taken 200 mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because sir, generally while doing this type of assessment, initially we have the length. Suppose length is 100 mm and depth is that. So then we have the corrosion loss. So we can do the assessment in which year the pipeline is going to failure.
Yes.
If you have the depth and length and
Yeah.
corrosion rate, how much the depth increase per year, how much the length it will increase per year.
Length, see, this is actually length will increase, corrosion loss. Basically, it is measured in depth, and length you cannot project actually. How much is the length? Depth based on the corrosion rate, you can.
No, sir. We can project a length also. Sir, we can project a length also. There is a formula given in the DNP RP 101.
I know it is there, but we are not taking that length. When you will see, they have given in that NVRP F101 that they're the projected length. They are not taking while calculating the residual life assessment. They are taking, they are taking whatever the length, assuming that the length will be same. Okay, although the length may vary, but suppose because if it is there, then it will failure will be earlier than that. If length you can project, okay, but based on the practical experience, it has been found that the life is same as calculated by this formula. Okay, so the length we are taking in the last and say 5 years or 6 years, we are not projecting that there will be abnormal increase in the length of the corrosion loss. Okay, so length we are taking same as the last length we have found.
Okay, and sir, one more question from your experience. There is a 3 code, 31G, modified G, and this DNPF 101. So if we comparison these 3 calculations, so which will give a good result?
See, actually, this comparison is actually is not actually any comparison that between these the formula. Somebody accepting that somebody say ASME 31.G because it is at different level. Okay, 0 level, 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, that. Okay, and DNV is like that. So I think people prefer for ASME 31.G actually because it's at the different level. Okay, so you can go for that also. But wherever they are giving in the specifications, they just simply said that as per ASME 31.G or equivalent international standards acceptable. So then you have to put your proposal and you have to see yourself. You have to decide which standard you want to do that. Okay, but it is acceptable. Now the result comparison is not available, or nobody says that which standard you should adopt. Nobody will tell you. Okay, because it will be violating. There will be a debate actually. Actually, there is no universal standard. You see. Or anything. There are different people. European standards are different. See, your United States, that standard is different. Okay. So like that. So ISO is also there. ISO has also their standard. Now somebody is following ISO standard also. So I am giving you one example. You see, in the cathodic protection, see the NACE says 850 millivolt to 1200 millivolt. Okay, and they do not specify any resistance. What should be soil resistivity? While the ISO says that in case of high soil resistivity or the poor coated lines, cold coated lines, or high soil resistivity, 750 millivolt or even 650 millivolt is also acceptable. Now, which one will you follow? But NACE will not. Yeah.
Now, suppose let's concentrate on the 31G. Okay.
Yeah.
In 31G, there are two equations. One is 31G and another one is the modified equation. If we comparison these two equation, again there is a difference between the remaining life 3 or 4 years like that, sir.
That is the problem. You go for the modified G actually. Modified G, you go for a modified G, but they have found the difference. All have been put by the people. Only in the practical experience you can find out. Whatever case studies I have done, I told you about the Kern, ONGC on this thing, that I told them I will do by DNV standard. I put that also, and they were satisfied. They accepted this thing, and as per that, they have taken action also. And like the previous also, I have calculated like the life of the pipeline, and it is acceptable because like the GAIL pipelines. Now they were very good. I have done for their pipelines, and they are well in that tool. Their predicted life is quite long because they are taking action on that. So this is all as per DNV. So from my experience, I can say that by doing ONGC, CAN, and this thing, that this gives the good result. DNV RPF 101.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, one more.
So now, since you've understood the next case study, you will have to do. You will have to do.
Sir, Arun from HPCL.
Yeah.
Sir, regarding this remaining life years, could you explain again how this remaining life is calculated, and based on that, how recommendation is given?
Remaining life, yeah, that
remaining life is okay, sir. Your formula is okay. Based on that, how you are recommending?
See that I have. If you have earlier, you have seen that slide. Let me just come to this slide. Okay. Take this example. Remaining life in years is say 24 years, and the ERF is your ERF was 0.85. Okay, 0.85, and remaining life is your 5 years more. So that is anyway. I told you about that. That if ERF is say 0.85, that is, it is less than 1. Okay. So yeah. So the critical pressure here. See the critical pressure is more than your 1.10. This thing. It means that it is not the immediate. It is not at the failure stage. So it is not immediate. It is schedule action because it's 0.85 and life is 5 years only. So what you will do in the schedule action? You have to plan the repair. Now the life is further 5 years. Say, suppose from 2019 you have done that, 2015, and from that now 2019, from 15, from the initial it was 2024. Now is 20. Okay, so 4 years more left for this pipeline. So what you will do? You have to do schedule action, and I have told you that whatever the life is there, 50%, half of that you have to plan the repair. So within 2 years from now, you have to plan schedule action. What will you schedule action? You have to increase the thickness of the pipe by putting B type or A type received. That is the recommended action. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, one more question. If somebody has done a IP survey without
Yeah.
comparing the old survey report, we could not tell the recommendation
No.
period and the recommendation type.
Yeah. You have to have that data, because how will come to know what was earlier? You have to compare from the earlier. Then only you can know how much the thickness reduction is there on this thing. All the data, I have given you that all the data you should have.
Hey, I can give the design data. Design data, as-built data. As-built data is required,
Yeah.
or last year or last IP run data is required. Which one is which one I have to give for the new party?
No, you have, see, whatever you have got from the design data also, we can do how much is the corrosion rate. That from the design data also we can do. Okay, because the corrosion rate only you have to find out. But how will come to know the what is that the latest data you should have? Because how will come to know the what is the because the latest you have to give. If you have to calculate the residual life and this thing, you require L. That is the length of the corrosion loss.
Length of the corrosion.
Yeah, so that 10 years you cannot, at least you have to do. If you have the oil pipeline, 5 years you have to do inline inspection. Okay. Or if it's a natural gas pipeline, 10 years you have to do. At least 10 years life is there. It should not fail before 10 years. Okay, if it is a dry natural gas, then there is not a problem. But if the oil pipeline is 5 years, it will not fail in 5 years. That corrosion allowance is there. So the minimum is that 5 years based on that. So after 5 years you did, based on that 5 years, what is the length of your corrosion loss? Then only you can calculate the remaining life and the strength of the pipeline. Okay, so
Okay.
you will be doing this only once you have completed the first metal loss through inline inspection after your design. Okay.
Okay. Sir, one more thing. If the result of IP defect is internal corrosion, internal metal loss, say the internal metal loss, but it is low. Low in the sense like medium. Recommendation period, like we can say this your case study as an example. This is external corrosion. The same case, 200 mm this thing. If it is internal, if it is internal, we have to go for type B only.
Type B only. That's it.
And
Type B.
integrity monitoring will not be acceptable. If next
No, schedule, it is the same thing. You have to do within 2 years. If it is more than 10 years, suppose you are 5 years, more than 5 years, okay, then you can wait for that, because before the next inline inspection, you must take the corrective action. Okay. So it is 5 years, so don't wait for that 4 years. Again, 5 years you will do. See, 15 you have done. Okay. So in this calculation, you have done, it is gas pipeline, they have done 5 and then 15. Next, they will do in 25.
25.
Okay. Okay, yes, 25. So 10 years you cannot wait for that to find out what is the corrosion rate. Before that, your pipeline will have failure. Okay. So before you